Welcome back. That old Lincoln wheat penny you tossed in a jar could be worth a fortune. Some of these unassuming coins, especially rare dates and mint errors, have sold for hundreds, even thousands, of dollars. Stay tuned as we reveal the high-value wheat pennies every collector dreams of finding. The 1919 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a notable example from the early years of the Lincoln cent series, which began in 1909. This specific coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and as was customary at the time, Philadelphia minted coins did not carry a mint mark. As one of the earlier Lincoln wheat pennies, the 1919 edition carries considerable historical interest, particularly for collectors who appreciate coins from the post-World War I era. This coin was produced just 1 year after the end of World War I, during a time when the United States was transitioning into a new phase of economic and industrial growth. On the obverse side of the coin, the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln faces to the right, created by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head is the inscription, "In God We Trust," a motto that had become standard on U.S. coinage. To the left of Lincoln's profile is the word "Liberty," and to the right, the date 1919 is stamped clearly. Because this coin was minted in Philadelphia, there is no mint mark beneath the date. In circulated condition, the high points of the coin, such as Lincoln's cheek, jawline, and the details in his hair, often show moderate to heavy wear, depending on how long the coin remained in use before being taken out of circulation. The reverse side features the classic wheat ears design, also by Brenner. It includes two stylized stalks of wheat curving along the left and right edges, framing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America in bold letters. Across the top is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. In circulated condition, this reverse side typically exhibits wear on the wheat lines, and the lettering may be slightly worn down but remains fully legible. Any dirt, grime, or toning that has developed over the years is common for a coin of this age and usually does not detract significantly from its historical value, unless it obscures key design elements. The composition of the 1919 Lincoln centy follows the standard alloy of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the traditional bronze mixture used for pennies during this era. The coin measures 19 millimeters in diameter and has a plain edge. Weighing approximately 3.11 grams, it holds both numismatic and historic value, especially to collectors who seek coins from the first few decades of the 20th century. Mintage. Figures for the 1919 Philadelphia Lincoln cent were relatively high, with over 392 million coins struck that year. As a result, this coin is not considered rare in most circulated conditions, though well-preserved examples in higher grades or with red color designation are significantly more desirable and can command higher prices. In circulated condition, like the one described here, the value is generally modest, often ranging from a few cents up to a few dollars depending on overall eye appeal and the amount of wear. Coins with sharper details and more uniform toning may be worth slightly more to a dedicated collector or someone seeking to complete a year set of Lincoln cents. Because it has been circulated, the 1919 penny has passed through many hands and seen the changing landscape of American commerce over more than a century. Each small mark, nick, or worn surface speaks to its long history. These signs of use are expected in coins of this vintage, and, for many collectors, add to their charm rather than detract from their appeal. While this example does not exhibit the luster or pristine detail of an uncirculated piece, it still carries the rich legacy of early 20th century U.S. coinage. Collectors of Lincoln wheat pennies often appreciate coins like this for their role in everyday American life during a transformative era. The year 1919 saw many important developments, including the Treaty of Versailles, which officially ended World War I, and a nation adjusting to a peacetime economy. This coin is a physical piece of that history, minted during a year of great change and progress in the United States. It would have been used in the purchase of common goods and services during a time when a single cent still had meaningful purchasing power. In conclusion, the 1919 Lincoln wheat penny, without a mint mark, in circulated condition, is a common but historically valuable coin. While it may not have high monetary worth, its appeal lies in its age, design, and connection to a significant period in American history. It stands as a reminder of the resilience and industrious spirit of a post-war nation, preserved in copper for collectors and enthusiasts to appreciate over a century later. The 1947 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a coin produced by the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use a mint mark on its coins. This penny is part of the long-running Lincoln Wheat series, which was first issued in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The 1947 issue came shortly after World War II, during a time when the United States was adjusting to post-war life and beginning a period of economic expansion and modernization. The coin represents a piece of that transitional era, when pennies were heavily used in everyday commerce and carried both symbolic and practical value. On the obverse, front side of the coin, the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln remains the central design, created by artist Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head is the national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left of his profile is the word "Liberty," and the date 1947 appears to the right. The lack of a mint mark under the date confirms that this coin was minted in Philadelphia. In circulated condition, especially after more than 75 years of handling, the details on Lincoln's face and clothing may be worn smooth in places. However, the major features typically remain identifiable. On this particular coin, the surface has developed a dark red shade, often caused by long-term exposure to air, moisture, and handling, resulting in natural oxidation and patina formation on the copper surface. The reverse, back, of the coin carries the classic wheat ears design used from 1909 through 1958. This includes two stylized wheat stalks curving along both edges, framing the central inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above these is the Latin phrase e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. On circulated coins such as this one, the wheat stalks may show smoothing or blending into the background due to wear, and the letters may lose their sharpness but usually remain readable. The dark red toning on the coin's surface gives it a vintage and aged look, which is common for copper-based coins from this era that have spent decades outside of protective storage. The 1947 Lincoln cent is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, which was the standard composition for U.S. pennies before the shift to copper-plated zinc in 1982. This classic bronze alloy gives the coin its original reddish-brown hue, which darkens with time and exposure. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters with a smooth, plain edge. These specifications were consistent throughout the wheat penny series and give collectors an easy way to identify genuine examples. In terms of mintage, the Philadelphia Mint produced a substantial number of 1947 Lincoln cents, over 190 million coins. This makes the 1947 no-mint mark penny relatively common in numismatic terms, particularly in lower grades such as circulated condition. While the coin is not rare, it still holds historical interest and collector appeal, especially for those assembling a complete set of Lincoln wheat cents by year and mint. Its circulated status and dark red shading mean it may not have high monetary value, but it remains a meaningful piece for hobbyists and history enthusiasts. The coin's condition, described as circulated and dark red shaded, suggests significant wear but no major damage or corrosion that would obscure major design elements. The dark red patina may either add to the coin's vintage appeal or be seen as a distraction, depending on collector preference. While not suitable for grading at a high uncirculated or mint state level, it remains a solid example of a mid-20th century Lincoln wheat cent and serves as a tangible link to American history and coinage. Overall, the 1947 Lincoln wheat penny, without a mint mark, in circulated condition with a dark red tone, is a common yet historically significant coin. Though it does not carry high monetary value in this condition, its true worth lies in its story. Produced during a pivotal moment in American history, handled by generations of Americans, and now preserved by collectors as a reminder of the past. For those who appreciate coins not only for rarity, but for what they represent, this coin is a meaningful addition to any wheat penny collection. The 1942 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a copper coin produced at the Philadelphia Mint during a time of major global upheaval. As the United States was actively involved in World War II, the nation's mints continued their coinage operations to support everyday economic activity. The absence of a mint mark beneath the date indicates this specific penny was struck in Philadelphia, where coins commonly did not carry mint marks during this period. This coin, though common in mintage, carries historical weight due to its production during wartime and remains an important piece for collectors of mid-20th century American coinage. The obverse of the coin features the enduring image of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head is the national motto, "In God We Trust," while liberty is positioned to the left of his profile, and the date 1942 appears to the right. In a coin described as being in good condition, noticeable wear is expected. The finer details in Lincoln's hair, beard, and facial contours are typically worn smooth, and the outer edges may show flattening. However, all inscriptions remain clearly visible, and Lincoln's profile remains distinct enough to be easily recognized. The reverse side of the 1942 penny displays the traditional wheat ears design used from 1909 to 1958. This includes two stylized stalks of wheat flanking the central inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above these is the Latin phrase "a pluribus unum," meaning out of many, one. In good condition, the reverse design will show heavy wear. The wheat stalks may have lost most of their fine details, and the lettering may appear flat but still legible. Despite its simplicity and worn state, the design remains a beloved symbol of early 20th century U.S. coinage. The composition of this 1942 cent is 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the standard bronze alloy used in most pre-1982 Lincoln cents. It weighs about 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter with a plain edge. Its physical characteristics contribute to its resilience. Many copper pennies from this period have aged with grace, even in circulated condition. Unlike the 1943 steel pennies that followed 1 year later due to wartime copper shortages, the 1942 cent retained its traditional metal composition, making it among the last pre-war copper pennies before material changes took place. Philadelphia produced more than 657 million Lincoln cents in 1942, making this issue widely available. In numismatic terms, that means this coin is not rare or scarce, especially in lower circulated grades like good. However, its historical significance and copper composition make it more desirable than many modern coins. The coin serves as a representation of a moment in time when every small denomination had a role in daily transactions, whether buying a stamp, a newspaper, or candy for a child. For many collectors, Part of the appeal lies in imagining the hands through which the coin passed over its decades of use. A 1942 Lincoln wheat penny in good condition typically holds modest monetary value, often a few cents to around $1, depending on the buyer and market. It is valued more for its age and as part of a complete date and mint mark collection than as a standalone rarity. Coins in better condition, like very fine or uncirculated, are more desirable to collectors aiming for visual sharpness and luster. Still, even in good condition, this coin is a meaningful and tangible piece of history from the wartime era. In conclusion, the 1942 Lincoln wheat penny, without a mint mark in good condition, is a common but historically rich collectible. Its design, metal composition, and era of production offer collectors and enthusiasts a small yet powerful glimpse into the everyday economy of 1940s America. While it may not bring high value in today's market, it stands as a sturdy relic of resilience, craftsmanship, and the enduring legacy of one of America's most iconic coin series. The 1935 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a historical piece of American coinage, minted in Philadelphia during the Great Depression era. This particular coin, like all others from Philadelphia in that time, does not carry a mint mark, which helps identify its origin. As part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series that began in 1909, the 1935 penny is crafted from a bronze alloy consisting of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, making it both durable and rich in warm reddish-brown color when new. Over time, especially in circulated condition, the metal often darkens and shows signs of use, including surface wear and possible discoloration, which is expected in coins of this age. On the obverse, the coin features the iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, facing right. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this portrait has appeared on every U.S. 1-cent coin since 1909, making it one of the longest-running coin designs in the world. Around Lincoln's head, the inscriptions include "In God We Trust" at the Yeet Identifidino top, "Liberty" to the left, and the date 1935 to the right. In a circulated example, such as this one, signs of wear may be immediately visible. These can include flattening of Lincoln's hair and beard, slight smoothing of facial details, and minor rim wear. However, the inscriptions and date typically remain clear and readable even with moderate circulation. The reverse side continues with the wheat ears design, also by Brenner, which was used from 1909 through 1958. It features two stylized wheat stalks curving along the left and right edges of the coin. Between them are the bold inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America, with the Latin motto E pluribus unum at the top. Circulated coins from 1935 often show flattening in the wheat ears and reduced sharpness in the lettering. Despite that, most of the major features remain intact and recognizable. These design elements were intended to symbolize prosperity and the agricultural strength of the nation. The 1935 Lincoln penny has a diameter of 19 millimeters and weighs approximately 3.11 grams. Its plain edge and modest size made it ideal for everyday use during a time when even a single cent had purchasing power. In the mid-1930s, 1 cent could buy a piece of candy, a loaf of bread in some places, or contribute meaningfully to the cost of a newspaper or bus fare. Given its age and the economic context of the 1930s, every 1935 penny serves as a reminder of the financial hardships and resilience of American society during the Great Depression. Over 245 million Lincoln cents were struck in Philadelphia in 1935, making this coin relatively common by mintage standards. As a result, even in circulated condition, the coin is widely available to collectors today. That said, every circulated example carries a unique story, likely passing through the hands of countless Americans during an era of breadlines, economic recovery efforts, and significant shifts in national policy and public life. The coin's worn surfaces, faded features, and aged patina give it character and authenticity, distinguishing it from modern mass-produced cents. From a collector's standpoint, a 1935 Lincoln wheat penny in circulated condition holds more historical than monetary value. Its financial worth is typically modest, often ranging between 5 cents to a few dollars depending on its overall condition and market demand. However, for those building a complete Lincoln cent collection by date and mint mark, this coin is an important and necessary piece. Even in worn shape, it helps tell the full story of the series and connects collectors with nearly a century of American economic history. In conclusion, the 1935 Lincoln wheat penny, without a mint mark, in circulated condition is a modest yet meaningful coin. Though it may not shine like it once did, and its details may have softened with age, it remains a tangible link to the 1930s, a decade of challenge, change, and enduring American spirit. Whether stored in an album, passed down through generations, or simply appreciated for its role in everyday life nearly a century ago, the 1935 penny endures as a humble but historic piece of the nation's numismatic heritage. The 1937 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark is a notable and collectible piece of American coinage minted in Philadelphia. The absence of a mint mark indicates its origin at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use mint marks during this period. This coin belongs to the classic Lincoln wheat cent series, which was produced from 1909 to 1958 and is among the most recognized and collected coin series in the United States. Made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, the 1937 penny retains a TTET, warm reddish-brown or brown tone depending on its handling and storage over the years. In good condition, the coin shows signs of circulation, but still maintains clear and legible design features. The obverse side features a right-facing bust of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. The details of Lincoln's portrait remain distinguishable in good condition, including the outline of his face, his coat, and the inscriptions. Around the rim, "In God We Trust," arches across the top, "Liberty" appears to the left, and the date 1937 is positioned on the right. Despite modest wear, these inscriptions remain easily readable, and the coin presents well to the eye. The reverse side displays the traditional wheat ears design, also by Brenner. Two stylized wheat stalks border the left and right edges of the EBID coin, enclosing the large denomination 1 cent and the legend United States of America. Above the central wording, the Latin phrase E pluribus unum is printed, translating to out of many, one. In a coin described as being in good condition, the wheat stalks may show some flattening, but the central text remains bold and defined. This side of the coin captures the symbolism of agricultural strength and unity that was important during the early to mid-20th century. The 1937 Lincoln penny has a standard diameter of 19 millimeters and weighs about 3.11 grams. Its plain edge and bronze composition give it a classic look and feel that resonates with collectors. Over 309 million of these coins were minted in Philadelphia, making them relatively common, but their historical value and the age of the coin still make it a desirable item for hobbyists and history enthusiasts alike. The historical context of this coin adds to its charm. In 1937, the United States was emerging from the Great Depression, and coins like this were a vital part of daily commerce. A single cent could purchase items like a loaf of bread or a cup of coffee, and millions of these pennies passed through the hands of everyday Americans during that era. Each coin silently witnessed the struggles and triumphs of a nation working toward economic recovery and preparing for the changes that World War II would soon bring. Although the coin's condition is not uncirculated or mint state, its classification as good suggests it has retained a decent amount of detail and visual appeal despite age and use. There may be minor wear on Lincoln's jawline and cheek, slight flattening in the wheat ears, and general softness in finer elements, but no major damage or corrosion. This level of preservation speaks to careful handling over decades and offers a pleasing example for a date and mint set or a historical display. For collectors, the 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny is often appreciated not just for its availability, but for its role in American history. It is a testament to the resilience of coinage and the enduring quality of U.S. mint craftsmanship. It offers a tangible connection to the past, an everyday object that carries the stories and transactions of generations. In terms of market value, a 1937 penny in good condition generally carries modest financial worth, typically ranging from a few cents to $1 depending on the precise quality and demand. However, its true value often lies in its historical importance and the satisfaction it provides to those who enjoy preserving pieces of the past. Whether part of a complete wheat scent album or kept as a single keepsake, it contributes to a deeper understanding of the American experience and numismatic tradition. The 1937 Lincoln Wheat Penny, without mint mark, in good condition, is a simple, yet significant coin. It represents a period of national recovery, an era of craftsmanship and functionality in design, and a bridge between generations. Its worn but proud features remind us of the passage of time and the small yet enduring role that coins play in shaping our shared history.